Hello, welcome, and thank y'all for tuning in. Trusting people's word is holding you back. Do not be fooled by words and appearances. I always say, believe in someone's actions. Believe in someone's actions. Because the actions are always going to show you what time it is. Stop being so trusting of people's words because people will say anything. Sometimes they're just talking in the moment. Sometimes they're lying. Sometimes they are just repeating or regurgitating something that they've heard someone else say. And if you're someone like I used to be as a child, you take everything in and you process it, only to figure out later that it is meaningless. When I was a little girl, my babysitter told my mom that she was worried about me because I just get so upset over what people say. Like, I let it get me all worked up and upset. And it was something that she had to talk me out of. My babysitter talked me out of it. My mom talked me out of it. All of my mentors or people who were older than me and cared about me and knew me used to talk to me about that until they drilled it out of my head to stop getting so upset at what people said, because sometimes people are lying. And they don't mean it. They're lying and they don't mean it. But I used to let it get me all worked up. And I'm so glad that that's something that I outgrew. But a lot of people have not outgrown that. So if you are someone who has not outgrown that, you need to hear this. Sorry for my dog barking in the back. Stop being so trusting, because people's words are going to hold you back every time. People will offer you an experience that they wouldn't accept themselves. Listen to that again. People will offer you an experience that they would not accept themselves. If someone complains about you not calling them, well, are they calling you? See, often people can dish it, but they can't take it. Are they showing up for you? Well, pay attention, because often people will do something to you, but then when you do it back or when you reciprocate their same energy, they get upset and they can't take it. Well, maybe I'm not showing up for you because you have failed in the past to show up for me, and I've caught on to it. See, a lot of times people get mad when you catch on to their behavior, when you're time enough for them, and it will piss them off. I talked about that in another segment. It pisses them off because they're doing these things with the intention of being able to continue to do these things. They don't want you to catch on. They don't want you to catch the shade. So often, people will offer you an experience, for example, like I said, not showing up for you, not calling you, or just anything that they complain that you're not doing. Sometimes you got to throw it back on them. Well, are you doing it? Take a look in the mirror. Prime example why you should pay attention to people's actions and not their words. The CEO of McDonald's does not eat McDonald's food. Okay, so all of this promoting of McDonald's, it's how he makes his living, and he's not even eating the food. Bill Gates limits his kids from using technology. He limits their technology use. Steve Jobs does not let his kids use an iPad. Now, these are all things that I've read. So, of course, I don't know for sure, but these are all things that I've read. The CEO of Pepsi said he'd never let his family touch any of their products, those Pepsi products. Okay, so see, while people are busy promoting things, they may not be doing them themselves. Because, why? Because they know that it's bad for them. Okay, CEO of Pepsi knows that soda is bad. But that's how he make his money. But he's not going to let his family touch it because he knows what's in it. Steve Jobs getting all of this money off of technology, but realize, hey, my kids need real life experiences. I'm not going to just sit them in front of an iPad. What do a lot of parents do? Sit their kid in front of an iPad and let it entertain them. Bill Gates limits his kids from tech use. Okay? They're probably getting exercise and doing other things to stimulate their brain. Meanwhile, we are constantly using technology. And then if the CEO of McDonald's does not think that that food is good enough for him to put in his body because he knows that he wants to be here for a long time and healthy and have a good quality of life, he sure is promoting McDonald's, making their money, but he knows better than to eat it. So that is why I say pay attention to people's actions and not their words. Sometimes they may say anything. So things like inconsistency and manipulation, those two things will jolt the nervous system by making you feel on edge or making you feel some type of restlessness or anxiety and making you feel unsafe. So if a person is offering you those two things, they're inconsistent, they don't do what they say they're going to do, or offering you manipulation, meaning they try to sway you against your beliefs and play you like a puppet on a string to get you what they want you to do, run. Okay, run. At a certain age, things are no longer misunderstandings. After a certain age, things are no longer mistakes. It is a person's character, how they act. Okay, that is them. A person could claim to be a good person all they want. Some people who are not good people actually will convince themselves that they're good people by saying it over and over again. I'm a good person. Well, I'm a good person. Well, I'm a good person. But that doesn't make it true. Think about it. Another thing is people know who they can run game on. They know who they can run game on and who they can't run game on. That is why they do it. Because a lot of people are predatory. They want to see what they can get away with. I talk about this in my book, Bouncing Back After Breakup. If someone sees that they can get away with something with you, they'll do it. But they won't try it with someone who's not for it. Also, you are not in control of anyone, but you are in control of what you accept. So if you don't play that, they're not going to play it with you. If they know they can play in your face, often if people know that they can play in your face, they will. Why not? Why not? So since we know we can't control people's actions or words for that matter, instead of reacting to their actions, let the person's actions set you free. I often, when I see where someone is coming from, they may not even know that I know. Oftentimes they don't know that I know or that I'm on to them. I'll tell myself, oh, okay, this what we on. Okay, this what we doing. and then react accordingly or act accordingly. Myself. I can't force anybody to do anything. Can't force a grown person to be somebody who they're not. But at least if I know where they're coming from, I know how I want to carry going forward. So again, to bring it back home, do not be fooled by words or appearances. Believe a person's actions. Now, what do I mean by appearances? I see it all the time. The smiles, the laughing, the outwardly friendliness of someone. Oh, and here's my favorite. Some people like to talk, they like to heighten their voice. Hi, how are you? Hi. They kind of sing when they talk. I can see right through that. Often people can't. And that's kind of where it gets tricky. A lot of people will smile in your face and do that, make their voice kind of high pitch. And they do it in hopes that you will think that they're coming to you from a friendly place. But often it's not, especially if their actions say otherwise. Okay. So maybe because when you speak or you talk to them, you're being direct. But they raise their voice. Hi, how are you? Are you okay? That moves a lot of people, but it doesn't move me. So because people learn that, okay, when I make my voice sound like this, I sound extra friendly. They'll often do it to you, knowing that they can't stand you. Knowing that they have nothing but shady things to say behind your back. But when they get in your face, they'll sing. And often reading these people is so freaking easy. And it's easy to see through. Now, if that's your regular voice, I'm not knocking that. But sometimes when you let people know that you're on to them and they see that the high-pitched voice and the soft talking and the singing and the fawning doesn't work with you, they'll switch it up real quick. And then they'll get direct. So they'll go from, hi, how are you? And then, when you're not responding to that, it'll change to, hi, how are you? If that's your voice, that's your voice. But if it's not your voice, sometimes people try to switch their voice to sound like they're friendly, extra friendly, so you can trust them. But that don't work on everybody. Let me know in the comments if you know what I'm talking about. Maybe I need to delve deeper into this because it happens often. But my point is, when you trust people's words, it's going to hold you back. You got to trust them actions. Okay, believe in the actions. They are what's real. Y'all be safe.